Welcome to Your Anime Senpais. I'm John, and today I'm going to be watching and reacting to Fate Zero, episode number 3. And in the last episode, we kind of had a little more concise, focused episode on Waver and Rider, Saber, Kiritsugu. I don't know actually at this point if that is the master. I think it is the master of Saber. Not Ryunosuke. Him and Caster, who is Bluebeard. I never did look that up. Assassin and Archer was briefly done. We kind of went through these things. The first episode was pretty long, so we covered a lot of ground. We didn't have the opening, different things like that. So it kind of felt like in the first episode we were given us so much more information. The second episode we had the opening, the ending. I don't think we had a recap. But either way, we didn't get as much, I felt like. But we spent more time focused on these individual servants and masters, things like that. So I kind of enjoyed it more. Hoping to get more from that. Maybe going over to the other servants, maybe seeing who they are and how they interact with their masters. The thing with Assassin and Archer. I still wish it was a little more drawn out. If it was going to be their fight, if that was going to be the last time we see Assassin, I kind of wish that was more of a representation of what he was going to be in the Holy Grail fight, war, whatever this is. But anyway, looking forward to this. So without anything else from me, let's get right into this reaction. Okay. Different treasures. What kind of objects would he be after, I wonder? It's not like he's gonna get a wish, right? I like his attitude. Oh, each class has a different personality? Interesting. Figured he wasn't dead. Oh, so he didn't make it out of that. He's actually dead. Hmm. Here's the good stuff. Ah. Need to get a couple of those, huh? At least 10, okay. It's a lack of funds. Just gonna wish for all the money in the world. All the money to buy the world. Okay. Clinton? I like how this kind of dates it now. Or maybe the source material even? I don't know. Caster. How did he know he was beaten and as well? So he saw the attack? You know, I think if you kill him, you're gone too. He kind of has the attitude of Blackbeard from One Piece. You don't seem too concerned. Was this part of his plan whenever they were like walking around the dude in the first episode? So he's got more than one form? Or whatever? He's got multiple assassins, even though that one was beaten, I'm guessing? Because they were talking about noble phantasms summoning more than one copy? If I'm remembering that right. Really? What? To ride anything. Okay. So just grab onto the control stick. Nice. I don't think that's going to work on any of these summons, or whatever you want to call them. Servants. How many people? What? So everyone just has eyes on everybody in this? So you want to keep the true identity of your servant secret. What would that give away? Oh no, you're Lancelot or Gilgamesh or whoever. I don't know. It seems like an odd advantage, I guess. Is there some kind of advantage you'd gain from their historical relevance? Why does he need all that? Why? Okay. So is this how the whole series is going to be? They're just going to be randomly attacking each other? That's how I would be if I were up there too, so I can't blame them. I hate heights. So is Saber going off to fight who? Wait, can one dude see them fighting? Ah, Lancer, because you have a lance. Yes, do not exchange names. You would have an advantage, I think. I'm not even for sure if that's a thing, but don't. Fate is so cool and just weird at the same time. Sorry, everybody. Hey, that's a plus. Is that allowed? Where was her sword at? Is her sword invisible? Ah, to hide her identity? Alright, everybody, that was episode 3. Just to let you know, I went back, rewatched the episode, took a little bit of notes while I was doing it. I didn't pause it to take notes because I was recording the audio and doing different things at the same time. So just to make it easier for the editing part of it, I just let it play out while I was writing my notes as well. So some stuff I might have missed, I can go back again. So let's go back over episode 3, kind of talk about the questions I had while I was going through notes. I can't remember the questions I raised during the reaction or what'll be on the YouTube version of the reaction. So we'll kind of put them in this part of the review anyway, and maybe they'll overlap, I don't remember. So we started off with Tokiomi, who is the master of Gilgamesh, which is the archer. Gilgamesh sounds very familiar, but I apologize. I do not remember what he was in history. So I don't really remember what he represents or what he's going to bring to the table, what his personality might be. But from what little we got, he is looking for treasure. He's not really in it for anything else other than that. One thing that was mentioned that I was curious about, and I think I did bring this up during the reaction, was that it seems like whenever he was talking about his personality of Gilgamesh being tied to the archer class, that he was talking about, well, you know, it's kind of odd that Gilgamesh became the archer who was the most independent, or however it was said. So that kind of makes me curious as to if, even though these historical figures are summoned as servants, if they all as well have a twist to them in that their personality is affected by what class they're summoned in. If that makes sense how I said that, because could Saber also be summoned as another class? Or would it always be, because they talked about how there were knight classes, would Saber, King Arthur always be summoned within those 3 knight classes? Or is it possible that King Arthur could be summoned as a caster? I don't know if it works like that. I'm just kind of curious, since it talks about classes affecting personality in that way. I am also curious, and they didn't reveal how. It just kind of seems kind of funny to me that Waver knew that Assassin was defeated. I don't know if it was like a Sixth Sense, if there's some kind of like Holy Grail news blog, something going on that he can just kind of keep up with it, or if he's sending out some kind of magic to do that. I'm not really for sure what's going on, how he's getting that info. I did find it curious, or interesting, I guess I should say, that masters supply the mana for their servants. So I think they did touch on that in the first episode. So the stronger your mana, the stronger your servant. So there's only a certain amount of mana, if I remember correctly, that can be proportioned among all the servants. I could be remembering that wrong from the first episode. There was something said about how the last ones to show up were going to be weaker because such strong servants were summoned at the beginning. I could be totally wrong about that. I need to go back to the first episode and take some more notes, rewatch that. That's just a whole lot, though. Bill Clinton's the president. I found that funny. We're kind of putting the series in a time period by doing that in the 90s, which is kind of funny to me. It's kind of cool. I grew up in that decade. The rush to figure out who the servants' identities are. That's interesting to me, that's even a thing. I guess I think it has been brought up in the past, or maybe I'm just thinking of how my Fate friends talk about or have talked about that. But anyway, discovering the identity, I don't know if it gives you an edge or what, but they're trying to do it. They also talk about a noble phantasm, and I am assuming that is the representation of their weapon, whether it be King Arthur had Excalibur, which Saber doesn't really have Excalibur. She just so far has an air sword. I'll just call it that, I guess. I don't know. But she don't have Excalibur yet, it looks like. So, with, let's see, what's his name? Gilgamesh as the archer, he had those spears. Did Gilgamesh have a spear that he fought with in real life, in history? I don't know. So, the Noble Phantasms, I'm at this point, I'm just assuming that's just another name for their weapons that they're going to be using. I could be wrong about that. You feel free to correct me. I'm just trying to kind of figure this out as we go. Let's see, what's his name? Ryder was talking about trying to find the front lines, going out and just looking for him. So I'm guessing they know the general area, because later on, Irisville, I probably really butchered that, she came to Japan. Waver also is from Britain, and he came to Japan. So they know the general area of where it's going to be taking place. Are there more than one Holy Grail War that takes place, or are they always in Japan? That's another question. I don't really know. That might be answered. If it's going to be answered, you don't have to tell me about it. It's just something I was curious about. So Ryder was bragging that he is the fastest of all servants. Is that a trait of the Ryder class, or is that just Iskandar himself having the gift from Zeus and just being able to move fast? That's another kind of question I have. That might be kind of minor. So Kire lost his servant, assassin, and he's seeking asylum in the church, which is a neutral zone. I'm pretty sure in the reaction I was pointing out that I think these two were the ones that were going to try to work together to pull off some plan to just win to rig or to win the Holy Grail War. So I could be wrong about that, but I'm thinking that's who these two were. They also talked about how someone wasn't watching, or they probably just didn't detect one person not watching the assassination attack. I don't know. He was defeated. So with that same token, the other ones that kind of apparated, they looked like different versions of assassin. Is that a thing? Were there more assassins? Like, even though his primary servant was gone, assassin has more forms, but they're not allowed to fight because the main one's gone? I don't know. Just trying to throw it out there. If it's spoilery, I don't need to know. If it's going to be revealed later, kind of thing. So very interesting. Saber and potentially, well, yeah, all the servants have a knowledge given to them of the era that they're going to be summoned into. I thought that was kind of cool. So they don't come into it and they're all like culture shock, and we got to go through the whole like, oh, that's a car, that's a whatever. They come in with a predisposed knowledge of what era they're going to be fighting in. That helps quite a bit, I think. Just kind of make things transition a lot smoother. It was kind of funny that Saber has the ability, the core ability, to pretty much ride or operate anything. I don't know if that's another thing that's just independent of her class, the Saber class, or if all of them have like a certain unique ability. But that was kind of interesting. We find out later there's a video recording. Well, we don't find it out. It's just kind of we see it. There's a video recording of Assassin dying. So, does someone have a drone? This is in the 90s. I don't think there were drones. Closed circuit TV recording of this CCTV. I don't see how they had video that they could just play on TV of Assassin being defeated. I don't get that. But anyway, that's just overthinking things. I don't know. It's kind of odd to me that they're getting all this information, and it just kind of feels unorganized. Maybe that's how it is. Because I'll be honest, this kind of feels like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure smashed in together right now with Hunger Games, and we're just kind of having this all-out battle. But other than the key people like at the church, I don't know who keeps track of what or how they keep track of everything that's going on. So if that's spoilery, then don't let me know. But I'm kind of curious how that's all being tracked and things like that. So toward the end, oh yeah, all the guns. What's his name? Okay, I didn't write it down in my notes, but he was in the last episode. I can't remember. Kiritsugu something, maybe? I can't remember. Either way, why all the guns? Is he going to go master hunting? Is that a thing? Can they just go around and kill the master? Servant just disapparates and they win that fight by just cheating? Well, I wouldn't really say it's cheating, but I guess it's easier than having the servants fight. Is that a thing? Is that what's going on? Or is he actually going to help the servant fight the other servant? I don't, because it does say later on in the Saber fight, Saber versus Lancer. Yeah, Saber versus Lancer. She brought up that she could heal her with magic, which I guess that's another question. Are you allowed to help or aid your servant in that fashion? I would assume so if you're already using your mana to summon them to this world, but once they're in the middle of that fight, I guess they're allowed to kind of intervene like that. So maybe, going back to my thing with the guns, maybe that's cool. I don't know. How did Lancer know that there was a challenge being sent out? How do you send a challenge out? Is that something that's ever discussed or talked about? Is that just like, hate to go back to Dragon Ball Z, but is it like just raising your power level and everyone's like, oh, what? And they just kind of know where you're at? Or what? Do they have, like I brought up before, do they have a blog post and someone just kind of, oh yeah, that, senses it magically or something? I don't know. Deciding the battlefield. I know once they kind of knew the invitation was sent, they said they were going to go out and they were allowing them to decide the battlefield. So they, Lancer sent out the challenge. Saber decided where they're going to fight at in that warehouse or shipyard or whatever it was. So I'm guessing at that point, and they talked about how Saber was just walking around the open. So does that mean they can just always know where everyone's at? Unless they're concealing themselves? I don't know. So yeah, at the end we found out Saber doesn't have a sword. It's just air. Maybe that's just because it's a noble phantasm. Phantasm meaning like a ghost or something like that. Phantom. I don't know. Let's see. That's kind of all the notes I had for that episode. Overall, it was a good episode. I liked it. I'll give it 1 thumbs up. It's not a 2 thumbs up kind of episode. It gave me a lot more information as far as like different things. It gave me also a lot more questions as far as how things work. Maybe there are things that I'm not picking up on yet, or maybe there's just things that are not revealed yet and I'm just thinking too deeply on them. But once again, I do like that we're kind of not just going all over the place with these servants. I like the fact that we're spending time with a couple of them. I am curious about how these fights are going to go down. I do want to see a good fight. I think that'd be kind of cool. That's what people always talk about when they talk about Fate, is how the fights look. They're like, oh, they're awesome, ufotable. They, massive, awesome looking fights. So looking forward to that. If I had one thing that I didn't like from this episode, what was one thing that I didn't like? I don't think there was anything. I don't really want to keep using the excuse of things I didn't know or something like that not explained properly. There wasn't really anything that I didn't like from the episode. So, with that being said, thank you for hanging around, watching my review portion of this episode. And if you like this reaction, definitely go down there, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell beside it. That way you are notified whenever new episodes are put out. And I'm going to try to keep these coming out weekly, maybe even more than once a week. Depends on what my schedule looks like. I'm really going to try hard for these. I know there's a lot of people looking forward to them. Appreciate all the comments down below, trying to fill me in on things. I am trying to have them screened first, so I don't really go and check them out immediately. I do have other people kind of let me know which ones I should be paying attention to, things like that. All the comments are really appreciated. So yeah, comment down below. Do me and Richard a favor, do us a favor. Go down there, check out our Patreon. We do have links down below and under the video in the description. Over there, like I said in the previous episode, you're going to get the full reaction, which might not be anything great or philosophical. It's just going to be the full reaction. I'm going to try to, like I said there, kind of trim these episodes a little bit stricter than I normally might. And over there also, it's going to be uncensored. You're going to hear it better, see it better, things like that. It's not going to be almost no audio, very transparent video, all that fun stuff that avoids copyright over here in YouTube land. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.